If you would like to read the story as well as listen to it, then please use the closed caption feature.
In the vibrant and bustling corridors of Sterling Corp, a legendary figure cast its ominous shadow, none other than the infamous, extreme vicious Karen. This creature, renowned across the corporate realm, was notorious for her disruptive tendencies and an unjustified belief in her entitlement. Like a mischievous sorceress, Karen had honed the dark arts of sowing chaos within the office, expertly weaving a tapestry of disarray that left a wake of disgruntled colleagues in its tumultuous path. Her arrival each morning was akin to the unveiling of a malevolent force, with an air of arrogance that preceded her every step. Karen's reputation as the mastermind behind office pandemonium spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of even the most seasoned employees. With an audacious disregard for workplace harmony, she reveled in the art of unsettling meetings and disrupting the natural flow of daily tasks. Colleagues whispered cautionary tales about the extreme vicious Karen, detailing her uncanny ability to transform the most tranquil workspace into a battlefield of frustration and irritation. Her undeserved sense of entitlement was like a crown atop her chaotic kingdom, and she wore it proudly, blissfully unaware of the discontent she stirred among her peers. As the clock ticked, signaling the approach of yet another skirmish in the office dynamics, employees braced themselves for the inevitable encounter with the notorious Karen. With her sly grin and an arsenal of disruptive maneuvers, she navigated the corporate landscape, leaving a trail of exasperated co-workers in her wake. The legend of the extreme vicious Karen continued to grow, weaving itself into the fabric of Sterling Corp's lore, a cautionary tale for new hires and a challenge for those daring to face the chaos that accompanied her presence. From the very instant Karen swept into the office, she brought with her an aura that seemed to forewarn of impending irritation. Dressed in lavish designer ensembles that practically shouted opulence, she strolled through the workspace with an air of entitlement, as if the entire world owed her a substantial favor. Her mornings unfolded like a scripted drama, commencing with a ritualistic visit to the HR department where she lodged complaints about seemingly trivial matters. Picture Karen, her attire an extravagant tapestry of high-end labels, each piece chosen with meticulous precision to broadcast a message of affluence. Her clothing seemed to define her, each thread stitched with the unspoken belief that it elevated her above the mundane concerns of office life. From the click-clack of her expensive heels on the office floor to the swish of her carefully styled hair, every detail contributed to the ensemble of annoyance she draped upon her shoulders. Karen's daily grievances manifested as a cascade of complaints, a ceaseless torrent that inundated the HR department with a flood of inconsequential issues. Whether it was the temperature of the office, the coffee selection in the break room, or the audacity she perceived in her colleagues for daring to use the microwave before her, each grievance held an air of theatricality. Her complaints, delivered with practiced flair, became the performance that heralded the commencement of another day in the chaotic theater of office life. As the disgruntled symphony played out, Karen's physical appearance mirrored her demeanor. Her features, etched with an expression of perpetual dissatisfaction, seemed to telegraph annoyance even before she uttered a single word. Behind a meticulously applied facade of makeup, her eyes harbored a glint of entitlement that unnerved those in her proximity. With each complaint, her gestures became more animated, as if the very act of registering dissatisfaction required a grand theatrical production. In the tapestry of Sterling Corp, Karen stood as a living embodiment of disruptive opulence, her appearance and behavior intricately woven into the fabric of daily office life. Colleagues, forced to navigate the labyrinth of her discontent, could not escape the visual and auditory spectacle that accompanied her presence, creating an atmosphere where the mere sight of Karen became synonymous with the impending storm of annoyance. Karen's desk stood as a towering testament to inefficiency, a chaotic landscape where paperwork lay buried beneath unruly piles, untouched and gathering a thin layer of dust. Amidst this disarray, she seemed to revel in a world of her own creation, absorbed in personal phone calls that echoed through the open office space. Her conversations, dominated by boisterous tales of recent shopping sprees and extravagant vacation plans, became an auditory spectacle that drew the attention of the entire workplace. Imagine the scene: Karen perched at her desk like a queen holding court, completely oblivious to the mounting workload she was shirking. Colleagues, exchanging exasperated glances, found themselves caught in the crossfire of her unabashed disregard for professional decorum. The surrounding atmosphere buzzed with the incongruity of her personal revelations against the backdrop of untouched tasks and neglected responsibilities. The very surface of Karen's desk served as a microcosm of the chaos she propagated. A landscape where paper trails lay forgotten, drowning beneath layers of disorganization, mirroring the cluttered state of her professional obligations. The once pristine workspace had transformed into a canvas of disorder, a visual representation of the chaos that unfolded daily within the confines of Sterling Corp. As Karen animatedly recounted her shopping sprees and upcoming escapades, her desk became a theater stage for the unfolding drama. Colleagues, navigating the sea of papers and documents strewn about, were forced to witness the juxtaposition of her personal indulgences against the neglected responsibilities that lingered in the shadows. Each phone call became a performance, with the open office space as the unwitting audience, captive to the discordant symphony of Karen's tales and the mounting workload left unattended. In the heart of the bustling workplace, Karen's desk emerged not only as a physical space, but as a symbol of the larger inefficiencies that threatened to permeate the entire corporate structure. The disarray, both visual and auditory, became a constant reminder of the challenges faced by those attempting to maintain a semblance of order amidst the whirlwind created by the queen of inefficiency herself. The drama didn't stop there. Karen fancied herself the office vigilante, constantly monitoring her co-workers' activities. An innocent chat between colleagues would trigger her wrath, leading to lengthy emails sent directly to HR, accusing others of conspiring against her. She wielded the HR department like a weapon, using it to settle personal scores rather than addressing legitimate workplace concerns. In the midst of a particularly tense day at the office, Karen elevated her disruptive tendencies to unprecedented heights. In a move that sent shockwaves rippling through the team, she boldly declared her conviction that she deserved a promotion. This audacious demand echoed through the office like a sudden clap of thunder, leaving jaws dropped and eyes widened in disbelief. Even the most patient members of the team, who had weathered countless storms of Karen-induced chaos, found themselves taken aback by the sheer audacity of her proclamation. Picture the scene: the usual hum of the office transformed into a symphony of incredulity, as the news of Karen's self-proclaimed promotion-worthy status spread like wildfire. Colleagues, who had diligently and tirelessly worked towards their professional goals, were left dumbfounded by the unbridled entitlement emanating from the epicenter of the office pandemonium. Karen's bold move became the talk of the water cooler, the subject of whispered conversations in hushed tones as co-workers tried to process the audacity of her demand. The air crackled with a tension that surpassed the usual chaos, as colleagues exchanged bewildered glances, grappling with the sheer improbability of Karen's expectation. As the news settled, the office dynamic shifted. Karen, with an air of self-importance that bordered on the surreal, continued to navigate the workspace, as if she had already ascended the professional ranks. The once harmonious team found itself contending with a new reality, one where the disruptor now sought not only to sow chaos, but also to ascend the corporate ladder through sheer audacity. In the annals of Sterling Corp's history, this day marked a turning point, a chapter in which Karen's disruptive tendencies transcended the realm of mere office chaos. It was a day when the collective patience of the team was tested beyond measure, as they grappled with the aftermath of Karen's brazen declaration, wondering how the office would ever return to its semblance of normalcy. Despite lacking any tangible achievements, Karen stormed into her manager's office, demanding an immediate promotion to a position of power. Her argument, steeped in self-importance, centered around her belief that she was destined for greatness, and that the company would crumble without her at the helm. The manager, however, was not swayed by Karen's baseless claims and politely declined her request. Fueled by a fiery determination to overcome the perceived setback of not receiving the promotion she demanded, Karen intensified her disruptive maneuvers. With a calculated malevolence, she orchestrated passive-aggressive campaigns against her unsuspecting colleagues, weaving a web of rumors and sowing discord like a toxic force that infiltrated every corner of the once harmonious office. The tranquil workspace, which had once thrived on collaboration and camaraderie, now bore an unsettling resemblance to a battlefield, with Karen positioned at the epicenter of the raging storm. Imagine the scene, the air thick with tension as Karen, emboldened by her unrelenting audacity, embarked on a mission to unsettle the very fabric of workplace harmony. Colleagues, once united in their pursuit of shared goals, now found themselves caught in the crossfire of Karen's vindictive schemes. Whispers of half-truths and insinuations echoed through the office, creating an atmosphere of mistrust and uncertainty that seemed to emanate from the disruptive core that was Karen. As she deployed her arsenal of passive-aggressive tactics, Karen's every move became a strategic maneuver, calculated to undermine the morale of her colleagues. The once cohesive team now navigated the treacherous waters of workplace politics, with Karen as the puppet master pulling invisible strings. The toxic force she unleashed left no corner untouched, seeping into the cracks and crevices of professional relationships, turning allies into adversaries. The once thriving camaraderie that defined the office now hung in the balance, teetering on the precipice of disintegration. Colleagues, once bound by a sense of shared purpose, now eyed each other warily, unsure of who might be the next target of Karen's disruptive campaigns. The storm she had conjured transformed the workspace into a battleground where trust was a casualty and professional alliances crumbled like sandcastles in the face of a relentless tide. In the annals of Sterling Corp's history, this dark chapter became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the havoc that could be wreaked when disruption morphed into a deliberate campaign of toxicity. As Karen continued to wield her destructive influence, the once vibrant office struggled to find its footing in the aftermath of her calculated assault on workplace harmony. Despite the turmoil, the other employees decided that enough was enough. They united against the common foe, forming a coalition of sanity amidst the chaos. Together, they documented Karen's egregious behavior, creating a dossier that detailed her disruptive antics, baseless complaints, and lack of contribution to the team. Armed with this evidence, they presented their case to HR, hoping for a resolution to the ongoing madness. In a surprising turn of events, HR took swift action. The evidence against Karen was overwhelming, and her disruptive reign had reached its breaking point. The once untouchable, extreme vicious Karen found herself facing the consequences of her actions. During an emergency meeting with HR, Karen was confronted with the documentation of her disruptive behavior. As she attempted to deflect blame and play the victim, her colleagues stood united, their testimonies drowning out Karen's feeble attempts at justification. The final blow came when HR, after careful consideration, made the decision to terminate Karen's employment. The news spread through the office like wildfire, bringing a collective sigh of relief. The atmosphere that had been poisoned by Karen's toxicity began to clear, and colleagues found themselves free from the shackles of her unwarranted entitlement. The workplace drama queen had met her demise, and the office could finally start the journey towards healing and normalcy. As Karen packed her belongings and exited the office for the last time, the collective sense of liberation among her former colleagues was palpable. The extreme vicious Karen saga had come to an end, leaving behind a cautionary tale of the consequences that await those who believe entitlement can shield them from accountability. The office, once marred by chaos, slowly began to rebuild, with colleagues learning the valuable lesson that collaboration and hard work triumph over disruptive entitlement.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.